there is a new ad, back to politics, from a pro-Kasich Super PAC attacking Ted Cruz for some of his claims, and boy, look at this one.
Many just call him Lyin Ted. Lied about Ben Carson to steal a win in Iowa. Lies about being the best for the GOP when polls show he can't even beat Hillary Clinton. His TV ad about John Kasich? Lie. Stations had to pull it off the air. If Ted Cruz's mouth is moving, he's lying.
New Day Independent Media Committee, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Oh, man. Extra points for kind of gross creativity there, and I thought Pinocchio was scary. Is Kasich getting anything out of this, or is it helping Donald Trump? Rick Perry is Ted Cruz supporter, former governor of Texas, and a former presidential candidate. What do you think of that ad, Governor?
Well, I think it depends on who your audience is, and that was kind of, 8th graders can't vote, so
Right.
you know,
But
it's really amazing to me when they don't want to talk about the issues. They generally will go attack a candidate. That's what I've seen in my 30-plus years of being involved in elected politics. But you know, the real adult in the room, and I think most people realize that Ted Cruz is the intellectual giant here. He's the person who is the constitutionalist. He's the person who understands, I think, these issues at depth better than the other two that are left in. And when you get down to it, it's a two-person race. It's between Trump and you know, Donald Trump's having his real issues here. You all talked in the earlier section about the female issue that he has, and it's real, it's deep, and I don't know how he gets himself out of that hole. I mean, even if he stops digging, it's so deep that I think most voters out there are like, you know, is this person really thoughtful enough? Is he mature enough? Does he really care enough to learn the issues? Real questions starting to come up about Donald Trump and his preparedness to be the president of the United States.
You can definitely feel the movement on their side about how they're trying to turn that around. We saw the foreign policy meeting, we saw the sit down with the RNC, and now they're going to have to figure out a plan to get women voters in their corner, because as you point out, you simply can't win unless you have a majority of women voters. But let me play this other bit from the candidate who you support, Senator Ted Cruz. This is from the John and Ken show yesterday. Take a listen.
Donald is pathological. Donald cannot discuss the issues of the substance. You know, Donald prefers to communicate to 140 characters or less.
You know, for a long time, Governor, the other candidates would not go after Donald Trump. They didn't want to alienate his supporters, his 35–40% supporters, and I know it goes up to 50 in some areas, but you know, that's sort of the average that we see. But Ted Cruz not hesitating these days.
Well, I don't think you're attacking his supporters. I think you're actually bringing to the attention of the people who are angry that he talked to, whether it was the host of issues that he's brought up that people are really upset about. But what they're seeing now is that he's not prepared. He doesn't care about these issues, or I don't think he's lazy. I mean, I think he's a hard-working fella, but maybe he doesn't think he has to go study and know these issues. Hence, you're seeing these meetings now. Oh, wait a minute, we are preparing. We do have some good foreign policy people with us. But at the end of the day, I think people who were for Donald Trump 6 months ago are really rethinking this. Women in particular, they're seeing some things come out of his mouth that are really horrendous when it comes to women, and you know, whether it's foreign policy or whether it's social issues, real concerns. And I think a lot of those people are having second thoughts about Donald Trump now. You know, and Ted Cruz is the obvious place to go for them. You pointed out that you've been obviously in politics for a long time, so I would love to pick your brain about where you see this going. I mean, how does this story end? John Kasich was here yesterday. He has no intention of dropping out. He thinks that this game is going to turn on its head at that convention, and he wants to be the person who's positioned to sort of pick up the mantle at that point. How do you see all this play out? Well, I said early on I thought this was headed to a contested convention. I still think that. And it's a two-person race. And after the first ballot, people are, you know, they're pledged to vote for particular candidates on the first ballot. After that, they're free to go where they want to go. I think Ted Cruz, by a large margin, is going to have the support at a convention. I think he's going to be our nominee, and I think not only will he do well, I think he will thrash Hillary Clinton.
Fascinating. All right, Governor, thank you very much. Good to see you
You're
today.
welcome.
Come back soon.
Yes.